Welcome to this brief audio service from the Norwich Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, on the Green in Norwich, Vermont. My name is Peter Heinrichs. I'm the interim minister here, and I am so glad that you have decided to join us as we step back for a moment in a time of fear and anxiety. Let's all press the pause button on the breaking news for a moment and take a breath. We're going to take a look at what the 23rd Psalm has to say to our times, and also explore what it means at the same time to be careful and also to be careful. Let's begin with a moment of prayer. Gracious and loving God, you have invited us all into your presence today, and whether we are at home alone, or whether we are gathered in twos and threes or fives and sixes, we are one, and we are your people. In these moments together, help us to know that the path under our feet is solid, the way through the valley is sure, and the destination is worth our every step. Amen. Listen now to the words of the 23rd Psalm. I learned the psalm long ago by heart, and so that's the way that you're going to hear it in the old King James Version. The words may be old, but the spirit is fresh for our time and for this moment. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Thanks be to God. Folks, there are so many voices that we listen to in our lives and that we give credence to. So many voices out there that we give our precious attention to. But there is only one voice that really has our best interests in mind. There's only one that knew me before I had a name. Only one that has seen me through all of my steps and my missteps, and only one that shows me the way home. The Lord is my shepherd, says the text. Now, I don't know what name that you may use for God. Maybe it isn't the word Lord, but whatever name you may use for God, that voice is unlike any other and calls you by name, inviting you to rest, to accept, and to trust. Now, as you know, in these days, we all do need to be a little extra careful. We need to be careful with ourselves. We need to be careful with others. I don't need to explain to you what I'm talking about. I know that I get recommendations from my credit card companies and airlines and even my insurance agent. They're all facts that we need to know and we want to know about how to do the right thing. But at times it can feel a little overwhelming. We don't know where to put our attention. And so I would like to invite you to remember that while you're being careful, you're also being cared for. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. We all get afraid at times. Fear is part of our lives, and it's exhausting. It's such a burden to feel afraid all the time. But have you ever thought, has the question ever come to you that I'm tired of being afraid and there's got to be a better way? So, did you hear What would it be like, as the psalm does, to ask God to walk you through the valley of your own fears to the other side. To the other side where you are quietly rooted in peace, even despite all the fear around you. Not only your fear you can lose, the psalm says, but also your rage. Yes, your rage, speaking of things we'd rather not look at in ourselves, because rage is so often a reaction to fear. Feeling powerless and vulnerable with our fear, we feel we need to defend ourselves. We feel we need to have something to attack and to blame, as though blame could actually make us feel any safer or less fearful. Could it be, as the psalm says, as the psalm wonders with us, could it be that our real security lies not in barbs and walls between us and our enemies, but in trust between us and our God? As the psalm says, Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. The poet W.B. Yeats once wrote that in a blazing moment of awareness he found, these are his words, I was blessed and I could bless. He was blessed and he could bless. If we want to be truly helpful at this time, let us remember that we must first help ourselves by remembering that we actually already have what we truly need. I shall not want, as the psalm says. We have our instructions for the journey. By our trust and by our peace, then, shall our companions know us, for they too seek a home in the house of the Lord, where we all belong forever. So be it. Let's hear the prayer of a person who found his way richly in very hard times. It goes this way. I asked for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn humbly to obey. I asked for health that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity that I might do better things. I asked for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty that I might be wise. I asked for power that I might have the praise of others. I was given weakness that I might feel the need of God. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing I had asked for, but everything I had hoped for. Almost despite myself, my unspoken prayers were answered. I am among all people most richly blessed. Amen. Thanks for joining us here at the Norwich Congregational Church. We'll be back next Sunday to ask, what does it take to see what God is up to in times such as these? Until then, this is Reverend Peter Heinrichs. Remember that in all things, God's got your back, and we're all walking alongside you, practicing safe distancing. Indeed, be careful and be careful. Amen.